Hello everyone and welcome back to Blooming Daily. I am so excited to have you join us again, and I know you would have a good time listening to today's episode. We've put so much in place. I've brought an amazing guest, and you know that what we want for you is for you to develop habits and build a lifestyle where you're in control of your health and you are living the best version of yourself. Joining me today is an amazing person. She is an amazing friend and a very involved person here at Bowden. And I'm so happy to have Esther join me today. Hi, Esther.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on this podcast, Ruth. I'm very excited.
Thank you so much for joining me. In fact, I've been looking forward to this for so long because I know that you've got an amazing energy, and there's so much we would share today that I know that would be so helpful for so many people out there listening to us. So thank you again, guys, for joining us today. How are you doing today, Esther?
I'm doing quite well. It's so sunny outside. Very great for my mood. So very excited to also be on this podcast today.
Yes, you look like very bright, and it just makes me so happy. So yes. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about building healthy habits. So I know this sounds like a very basic thing. Oh, healthy habits. But do you know that healthy habits are things that help you build a healthy lifestyle? They are the building blocks you need to live your best life, to be in your best self, right? So without healthy habits, you can't be the healthy person you want to be. You can't be the healthy sibling you want to be, the healthy partner you want to be, the healthy student you want to be without healthy lifestyles. And that's why today we're looking at building healthy habits. So we know that a lot of you might have heard different ways to build healthy habits. And so that's why today we want to outline a few key things that you should do or should not do when building healthy habits. And we're going to keep them to a few numbers because we don't want to overwhelm you with so many things. Oh, do A to Z and all of that. No, we want to keep it like short and concise, straight to the point, so that you know that, okay, I want to build this healthy habit of maybe exercising 20 minutes every day. This is what I should do, right? So that's what we want it to be for you. So getting right into the point, Esther, what comes to your mind when we talk about like healthy habits?
I think immediately I think about trying to build these habits over long term. And like I think exercising is a great example. And it's interesting that you said 20 minutes. I think a lot of people try to like start, like including myself, like starting with like a very unrealistic goal, like an hour or something like that. So one thing is definitely like identifying what realistically you can do with the time you have when you're building a new healthy habit.
Yes, that's true. I picked that number because I know, just like you said, a lot of people want to start with 1 hour. Let me just tell you the truth. You can't build a healthy habit on exercise by saying you want to exercise like for 1 hour every day. That would not work because you're already setting yourself up for failure. That's just so unrealistic, right? And so now we want to outline 6 ways for you to build healthy habits, right? Just 6 ways, so that you can even remember those 6 ways and you can say, oh, okay, this is what I should do, this is what I should do, right? So the first thing on our list is to identify the unhealthy patterns and like habits that you have, right? So I always say that the first way to like treat something is to identify it. Like if you don't even know it's there, then how can you even treat it? If you don't know it's there, then what are you going to treat, right? So one thing that we want you to do as you're listening to this is say, okay, what is that unhealthy habit I have? Is it that I am always pressing my phone before going to bed? That's identifying one unhealthy habit. Is it that I am always snacking on this, or like snacking on soda every day? Like, you know, identifying those unhealthy habits would help you to like tackle them because you already know what they are. Do you want to add anything, Esther?
Yeah, I think like identifying is definitely the first step. And also sometimes I think it's like very like catered to the individual person. Like something that you might find unhealthy might not be unhealthy for someone else. Like maybe I know some people like go on their phones before bed, like setting like an allocated amount of time because it helps reduce their anxiety before going to bed. But you know, for someone else that might be like a difficult habit to have because they might not be able to like say like, oh, I'll only be on my phone for 20 minutes before bed. They might like stay on it for 3 hours. So kind of knowing your own limits and what exactly counts as an unhealthy habit for yourself is also really important.
Very important. Thank you so much, Esther, for adding that. I think what you said was really important, knowing that this can be very peculiar to you. I think that's one problem that we often face at times, is trying to like pick what's like unhealthy for someone and use that as like what's unhealthy for us, right? Trying to say, oh, because that doesn't work for this person, it means okay, it's the same for me, or that works for this person, it means it's the same for me, right? I think when we understand that we have our own, you know, peculiarities, it will help us properly understand how to deal with our health. So just like you said, yes, understanding what's unhealthy for you, what works for you, like understanding that this whole journey of living healthy, it's a personal one, is very important. So yes, identifying unhealthy habits is the first thing you should do now. And so we want this to be as practical as possible. And so we'll ask that as you listen to this, please like get out a notepad on the note app on your phone, anything, and try to start listing the unhealthy habits you think you have. Like, what's that unhealthy habit? Can you just list it? Just take 1 minute, 2 minutes. You can pause this podcast here and then write it down. What's that unhealthy habit that you think you want to break or you want to work on? And then as you listen to the rest of this podcast, you can outline a plan so that you can work on it. On to the next one. Change your surroundings, or to find a way to make your surrounding help you achieve your goal of building a healthy habit. For example, if you want to go to the gym every morning, you can do it in such a way that you have your gym clothes hanging like facing your bed, right? You are programming your brain to see that when you wake up, the next thing is to go to the gym, because there's your gym clothes are right in front of you, right? Or maybe you want to go jogging every morning. You can put your shoes in a strategic position that when you wake up and get down from your bed, your eye catches your jogging shoes, right? Changing your surroundings or making your surroundings help you is something that would go a long way in helping you build healthy habits, because we are what we surround ourselves with, right? And so if you have maybe a poster above your bed that says, I'm going to be the healthiest version of myself by doing XXX, you're making your surrounding enhance the person you want to be. Esther, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I think that's really important, making your surroundings as like an environment to encourage you to build those healthy habits. I think it's definitely also tricky because you don't want to place these things in your life that makes you feel more stressed about building the habit. Like you want to feel excited, encouraged to like continue these healthy habits. So also like if you go running every morning, like having like some kind of encouragement for yourself, like knowing that once the adrenaline kicks in, you're gonna feel really great, or like you know, feeling great after the workout, like knowing that you've done this like for the day and you're feeling energized, like focusing on those like positive things and surrounding yourself with those like positive attitudes when you're building a new habit is also important. I think a lot of times people can like stop following a habit because they like feel stressed about it, and there's just so much tension around that. So definitely changing your surroundings to build a more positive space for yourself is also really great.
Yes, I totally agree, right? And so just like you said for the first one, can you identify some things in your surroundings that you can change that will help you like build your healthy habits better? That's one thing we want you to write now. Like, what's that one thing you should do? What's that one thing you should add? What's that one thing you should take away from your surrounding that will make this journey easier for you? If it's about maybe the problem of using your phone too much, is it that you want to change the placement of your phone at night? Maybe you want to move your desk in a way that your phone is now farther away from your bed. You know, what can you do to help yourself in this journey, because honestly, the more you make your surrounding help you, the easier it will be for you to actually follow through in building this healthy habit. So pause this if you need to, write that down, and then continue. The next one here on our list is to plan. And then we're going to link this planning to what Esther said earlier about how, you need to identify what works for you. Because the problem sometimes with just taking a plan off the internet is that sometimes that may not work for you, because they did that for so many people, and when you try to just use it as they did it, it might not work for you because your situation might be very peculiar, right? So the next step here is to plan and see what works for you, right? Write down the things that works for you, the small things, the goals that work for you, the actions that you think would work for you, right? For example, if you're someone who has to be out of the house by 6 a.m., certain things might not work for you in the morning, right? But then you can't say, oh, because that's what you saw online, you have to do that. No, you're setting yourself up for failure, because eventually it will be too stressful for you to continue, right? So planning is very important. Say you have to be out of the house by 8 a.m. You can say, okay, I'm going to work out for 20-30 minutes before 8 a.m., right? But then you still give yourself time to get breakfast, give yourself time to prepare to leave the house, give yourself time to do a few things, right? Because if you don't do all of that, if you don't put into consideration the other necessary things you have to do, then you won't be able to follow through on that habit, right? So planning is very important, knowing that I have to plan to do what works for me, right? So that I can continue with this, so that this is going to be sustainable.
Yeah, having a schedule, writing things down definitely helps. Even if you scribble a tiny note for yourself, knowing exactly when you'll have time, definitely planning out your day, and knowing when you are intentionally coming back to these healthy habits, it's definitely going to benefit you in the long run. Yeah, it's a really great point.
Yes, it is. So now we want you to write down a few things on how you can plan and how you can build a healthy habits, right? So we want you to do two things right now. Write a plan for the best time you can do the habit you're trying to build, and the list favorite time that you can do that habit, right? Because knowing what works for you and what doesn't work at all would help you as you go on. Knowing that, oh, I just can't go to the gym at night because I'm too tired, will help you know that you really have to do it in the morning, right? And knowing that, oh, maybe I want to read a book every day, right? And my afternoons are pretty free. This time is very solid for me, right? Knowing what works for you and what doesn't work for you would really help you in building this habit. So I want you to write down, okay, when is the best time to do this? Why does this work? Why does this not work? I want you to write that down so that it will help you as you're building a bigger and longer plan on how to build this habit. The next one on our list is to ask for support or recruit friends and family, or in general just get an accountability partner. Now you may say, oh, I think I've got to this and all of that. It's important to get friends and loved ones involved, because then you can't just choose to slack anytime you want, because you have people who are keeping you accountable, right? So it's important that you tell people that, oh, I'm trying to build this habit, oh, I'm emerging on this healthy habit building journey, right? So that they can check in with you and know how you're doing and know how that habit is coming, right? Ask maybe that friend that that you speak to every day to keep you in check on how you're doing with your soda consumption, or your parents to keep you in check with how you're using your phone and your screen time, right? It's very important to get accountability, because these people would make sure that you are not falling behind, or they can remind you that you're falling behind if you don't notice yourself that you're falling behind. Would you like to add anything, Esther?
Yeah, I think also having someone keeping you accountable, or even doing the healthy habit with you at the same time, can make it more fun, and you can actually keep each other on track, right? You can check in with each other and make it like a game. So it's actually even more fun doing it with someone. I definitely think like when I have a habit I want to form and there's someone who also wants to form that habit with me, it becomes kind of like a camaraderie almost. Like it feels very encouraging especially when I feel like I want to break away from the habit, to have someone there to hold me accountable and saying like, hey, I'm also trying to form this habit, like we're gonna work through this together.
I think one that really strikes me the most is with my sleeping pattern. So I used to have like a very terrible sleeping pattern, and then I remember that I had a friend who would tell me, several people in fact, like, oh, you really have to fix your sleep, this is very unhealthy. And then one day I said to one of my friends, you see, I need an accountability partner. And then he said, okay, I would like keep you accountable. And then because I knew he was going to ask me, I was more intentional about like doing better, right? I was more intentional about like sleeping better, so that I can truly say that, oh yes, my sleep is getting much better, right? And then I know that even some apps try to incorporate this by allowing you like add friends to whatever maybe you're learning. For example, let's say Duolingo, right? And they allow you like add friends, and they allow you like see how your friend is progressing, so that you can like encourage them, and then you can like say, oh, I saw that you've not practiced in a long time, or like, oh, I saw that you practiced 10 lessons today, like give them a high five and things like that. It really helps you when you see like your friends doing the same thing, like you said, like it's fun, it's like relaxing, it's encouraging to see your friends doing the same thing and your friends like keeping in check with you. So I think it's really amazing, and you should do that. So the next task for you is to write down 2 people you think can keep you accountable. What are those 2 people? Or if you have more than 2, you can write them down. Or maybe it's just only one person coming to your mind. Write down that one person. Is it your brother or your friend in school, or who is that person you know can keep you accountable? Please write that person down so that you can reach out to them. And please do it now, so that you don't say, you know what, I'm going to do it after listening, and then you might forget. Please, just that person that is coming to your mind right now as you're listening to me is the person you should meet to keep you accountable, because that's most likely the person that would keep you accountable, since that's the person that's coming to your mind. So yes, our 4th one is to get accountability partners. The next one on our list is to track your progress. Now, you might be thinking, oh, track my progress. Why do I need to track my progress? It's important that you track your progress because it will show you how far you've gone, right? So you might think that, oh, wow, I've been doing this for 2 weeks and I think I want to stop and everything. But then by the time you track your progress and see that it's a significant thing you've done since since when you started, you know that, oh, you've done something really great and you should continue, right? So track your progress so that you know that, wow, even when you don't see the small things that add up, you'll be able to see it on a big scale, right? That's why you really need to track your progress. For example, if you want to exercise 15 minutes every day, you might not notice what it's doing to you until you look back 3 weeks after and see the amazing thing that it has done to you. Do you want to add anything, Esther?
Yeah, I think it's easy to lose track of how long you've been doing something. So it's definitely like very helpful to do some kind of journaling. I definitely noticed that when I started journaling and started writing down what habits I was keeping track of every day, it did help me start and continue that habit initially. But I think sometimes in the long run, it's hard to like maintain that and to keep doing that tracking. So thinking of like other ways, like going back to the accountability, like maybe transitioning that and having a different form of tracking, like having someone check in with you, definitely like think about what forms of accountability best suits your needs.
Yes, I really agree. And now we have some ways that you can track your progress that we want to share with you. Just like Esther said, the first one is journaling. The first thing you can do is to like journal and say, okay, today I did this. Today I ran 15 minutes. And then the next day you write, today I ran 13 minutes. And then the next day you write again. Journaling will really help you. Another one is like keeping a calendar that you can like strike, right? So let's say you have a calendar for like April, and then on the first day you can cross out like the number and say, okay, I exercised today, and then the next day you can cross it out again and keep on crossing that out. That will really help you to track your progress. This is one visual way to track your progress, and it's something I really like, because visual tracking your progress visually would help you see that, oh, you're doing a lot, right? Another thing is building streaks, right? I think a lot of apps do this, and I think it has been very helpful for me. I'm going to go back to Duolingo because like it's one app I really know does this, and even I know another app, the U version like app, yes, does that too, right? Because you know that you don't want to lose your streak and go back to point zero, right? And so you are like, I must do this today so that I don't lose my streak. So building streaks is one thing that would really help you to track your progress, right? And so now I have like a high streak on both of these apps, because at the beginning I was very intentional about not losing my streak, and then now it's become a habit for me to like do the those things like every day, because I've been so used to doing it for so long that now I don't even have to think about doing it. I just remember that I have to do it every day, right? Do you have any experience like that to share?
Yeah, I think I personally don't do a lot of tracking, but I definitely do think that mentally sometimes I do keep track, or like I write down dates of when I start a habit. So even if I don't see it like visually, it like continues through every single day, I have this like mental almost streak in my head, and it helps to feel like, oh, like 2 months passed since I did this habit, and now it just feels natural to do it. So definitely I think like having even just a start date in your head and aiming to like prolong that start date for as long as possible is great.
Yes, I agree. So please try to track your progress. It's really important. If you don't track your progress, it's going to be hard for you to continue, because sometimes when like life gets hard, you might just want to stop because you're not tracking your progress and you don't know how much you've done. So now you can write down a way you think you want to track your progress. Do you want to journal? Do you want to like have a calendar? Do you want to build streaks, right? There are some healthy habits apps that allow you to, use the streaks function, so that every day like you impute maybe how long you ran or what you did, right? So building this habit would be much easier if you track your progress, and it's something we really think you should do. Now the last thing on our list would be to reward yourself and be patient. This is very important when building a new habit, that you reward yourself, to tell yourself, you know what, I think you're doing great. I think that it's not easy, but then you're still going, you're still keeping your head up high, right? So it's important for you to reward yourself and say that, oh, you did this, you ran like you said you would, right? So now this is a reward for doing that. And then you say, oh, you didn't like take like soda this entire week. Okay, so this is a reward for yourself. But it's really tricky, because you can end up rewarding yourself with the same thing you're staying away from, right? And that's very counterintuitive, because it's like taking one step forward and then 2 steps backward, right? So do you have anything to say on that, Esther?
Yeah, I think maybe having like a different activity instead of rewarding yourself with a thing. Like maybe if you like went like if you're trying to stop drinking soda, like instead of rewarding yourself with soda, like maybe rewarding yourself with like hanging out with friends, or like going to like get lunch together or something like that, doing some kind of fun activity together, that also could count as a reward. I think building those healthy habits, it's hard to like know when to reward yourself with certain things, and I think even if you're trying to cut back on soda, like knowing that there are points where like it's totally fine to drink soda, knowing also like when to have a balance, because I think it's like normal to have a soda once in a while, knowing like how to have a balanced lifestyle.
Yes, that's really important. So just like you said, it's important to know that this is really tricky, but that's why we're here to help you. That's why we're here to tell you beforehand, right? So when you want to like reward yourself, make sure that you are not rewarding yourself in a way that draws you back. Make sure that you're rewarding yourself with something that truly like rewards you and still keeps you on track, right? Do give yourself a reward that makes sure that you don't like sleep from the healthy habits you already built, right? So just like you said, you can say, oh, because I did this week, then I'm going to take out time to like visit my friends, or I'm going to take out time to just relax and not do work, right? So that's very important. But then rewarding yourself is very essential. And then the second part of this point is to be patient. Honestly, building a healthy habit takes time, and it's very important for us to realize that, right? Because if you're not patient with yourself, then after a few days you would want to just like fall back. You want to say, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I thought that I would have like lost X amount of weight in like 2 weeks, and I've not. No, I think I'm going to stop. No, you have to be patient, right? And know that it's really about the progress that you're making. So be patient with yourself. Don't allow social media make you think that, oh, by now I should have like gotten this amount, but I haven't, then I should stop. Be patient with yourself. Building a healthy habit really takes time.
Yeah, I think, definitely social media is a tricky place to go when you're trying to build a healthy habit. I think a lot of times it's important to know that people on social media aren't displaying the most authentic self. So maybe they're struggling and they're having a lot of setbacks, but they're not going to show that on social media. So also I think one way of building a healthy habit is to like be kind to yourself, and to maybe take a break from social media and to not get that feedback of other people who are saying that they're succeeding in a couple days or like a couple minutes, which sometimes probably isn't realistic. And just to focus on yourself and be kind and patient with yourself, knowing that you can take as much time as you need to build this healthy habit, and it doesn't have to be on a time crunch.
Yes, that's very, very important. And one example I have is with my hair, right? So I know that sometimes when I go like on YouTube to check out like, oh, how to use XSX to grow your hair, right? You see people say how to like use this to grow your hair in 3 days. That's not even possible. Yeah. You can't grow like 3 inches of hair in 3 days. That's not even possible, right? And so, but you see people like promote things like that, and if you don't know that those things could just be clickbait, you're going to fall into that impatience trap, and you're going to say, oh wow, why haven't I gotten like back length hair in just like 2 days after this person said that's what they did, right? So being patient with yourself is very important. Knowing that every good thing takes time is like very, very important. But we can't end all of this without telling you things that you should not do when building a healthy habit, right? But before we go on to that, please make sure to write maybe one reward you think would be appropriate for the habit you're trying to build, or the bad habit you're trying to break, right? As you like break free from it, write that one reward, or maybe 2 or 3, and then you can pick the best one later. But then write that down so that you know that, okay, this is what I'm working towards. Now, to things not to do, we have 4 major things we really don't want you to do as you are building your habits. The first one is, don't try to change too many habits too soon. Don't try to say, I'm going to fix my my workout pattern, I'm going to also fix my eating habits, I'm also going to fix my sleeping habits at the same time. No, don't try to do that. You're going to overwhelm yourself and overwhelm your brain, right? So it's important that you choose, just choose one thing and focus on that one thing, then you can move on to others later. Don't try to do too many things at the same time, else your brain will be overwhelmed. Can you share the second one for us, Esther?
Yeah, the second one is don't get impatient when results don't come more quickly. So again, what we're saying, like being patient with yourself. Don't let yourself be bogged down because maybe you're not seeing the results immediately. Like growing your hair, if you don't see it coming out in 3 days, I think it probably needs a little bit more time and patience. So just being kind and knowing that it's okay to take more time.
Yes, that's very important. And then the third one is, don't sleep up when like life gets busy. Don't say, I am super busy now I'm just going to stop everything I've built. No, you can adjust your routine, but don't stop it completely, because if you stop it completely, it's going to be hard for you to start again, right? So don't say, oh, because I'm now super, super busy, I'm going to stop everything. I'm going to like stop exercising now because I've gotten super busy. No, you can adjust your routine. You can say, oh, instead of 20 minutes, I'm going to do only 10 minutes. I'm going to do only 5 minutes. Yes, it's possible for you to cut down from 20 to 5 at certain like periods of your life if things just get really, really hard. But don't just stop and don't just like say, nope, no more exercise, nothing at all, because life has gotten really busy. Still continuing would help you, and to help your body more than you actually realize. And so I'm going to hand over the last one to you, Esther.
Yeah, and the last one is don't go back to square one when you slip up. So this is kind of the point of, if you do find yourself like falling back to those old habits, don't be too harsh on yourself and just say like, to the winds with my new habits, and you don't continue picking up where you left off, but rather just kind of note that, you're human, you're going to make mistakes. It's okay to slip up. And when you're trying to form these new habits, they're definitely very difficult to do. So it's okay to like take some time, take a break, but also take a breath and know that you don't have to start all the way back, destroying all the habits you've built up, but that you can pick up from where you left off and to continue building that habit, even if you've slipped up. So it's totally fine. And just really just be kind with yourself when you're trying to build these new habits, because it's hard to do. And it's okay if you slip up once or twice. You don't have to feel like just because you've made one mistake that you should just let the mistake drag you down completely.
Yes, absolutely. And now we want to end on the note Esther said, because we think it's very important for us to tell you that you're not perfect. Nobody is, right? And that's totally okay. We want you to know that, so that when you sleep once in a while, you don't say, oh my gosh, I've slipped, I've done something wrong. No, that's totally okay. None of us can do this like perfectly, right? But then, just like Esther said, don't say because you sleep, then you're going to stop completely. It's important that like you pick yourself back up and continue building and continue pushing forward. And we know that it can be hard. Oh yes, it can be. But then when you continue, you'd realize that you're stronger than you actually know you are. You can do much more than you actually think you can do. Get yourself that accountability partner. Plan, track your progress, identify what those unhealthy habits are, change your surroundings, do all these things, and you will notice that even though you can't do them perfectly, you're going to make a lot of progress. Remember, it's progress over perfection, and in no time you'll see a significant difference in your health and in the quality of your life. We're here to help you if you ever need us. Send us a message on social media, reach out to us, and would help you plan how you can build those healthy habits, keep you accountable if you need to, or just encourage you when you think you're sleeping. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much for joining me today, Esther. This was so amazing, and you gave so many amazing insights.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here and so excited to see the subsequent episodes that you'll have out and the other guests you'll have on the podcast. So lovely talking to you, Ruth.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.